Quick audio check for YouTube. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Carroll College Overwatch match. I am your host, Josh, going to be running stream tonight. Unfortunately, I am flying solo, so you're just stuck with me. Brady, Sean, both off for tonight doing school things, and so it's just going to be me. But we've got another exciting game for you here tonight. Pitt State University is going to be playing tonight, and looks like another great opportunity. I mean, Carroll has had just a phenomenal season. By every measure, Carroll has just dominated the league that they are currently in. When you take a look at conference standings, Saints Overwatch sits atop, solo first, with 5 points with a 5-0 record. In fact, the Saints, I didn't watch, I don't know about yesterday's game, but up until yesterday, the Saints had yet to lose a map, let alone a game. And so it has just been a clean handling of the entire league that we've played so far. Pitt State is a little bit further down. They are ranked currently 5th with a 1-2 record. Haven't played quite as many games as Carroll. And so this looks like to be another great opportunity for Carroll to continue to roll. A couple of things, though, that have been noteworthy from Carroll is it's not just the fact that they're playing well relative to their division. It's the fact that they're playing well relative to how they played last season. It's clear that the teamwork has leveled up significantly, and the way that they play positioning, team compositions, and take fights are all superior to the way they were playing last year. I think that's largely a consequence of the fact that you have a roster that returns and has had some time to play together from last season, where you had some kind of more recent changes prior to last season, so you're still getting the chemistry down. But at this point, it's clear Carroll just has the best chemistry of any team in the league. Expect to see probably some similar compositions. Given the fact that Carroll is playing atop the league, it seems oftentimes these teams are having to adapt around Carroll's play style. At first control, we can oftentimes expect to see the Junker Queen paired with the Sojourn, the Mercy, the Cassidy, and the Ana, with the two pairs of DPS covering for each other, the DPS support duos covering for each other. Definitely expect that to be a standard composition. It actually seems largely like Mr. Spee has been the one taking on the flex role, as opposed to, and this is a little bit what we heard in the interview with Mr. Spee a couple weeks ago. It's kind of a flip from last year. Last year, it was a lot more typical that Mr. Spee would lock the tank, and the rest of the team would kind of adapt around his play. This year, Mr. Spee is clearly the one that's taking on the flex role, allowing other players to play in a consistent and familiar role, and it's one that's working. Sojourn right now is just absolutely crazy. Paired with the Lizard Mercy pocket, it gets real nasty real fast for the enemy team. As well, Benny Boy has just been phenomenal on the Ana. The cooldowns have been something of legend over there, and you've got just a great Cassidy protection that's able to keep him alive, giving him tons and tons of value. Looks like we do have the coin toss was won by Pitt State University, and they chose Ilios. Now, if you are a fan of Carroll College esports, then you know that Ilios is where we want to be. Very excited to have Carroll going to Ilios here. You honestly can't ask for a better start. Definitely the way that you want to see that. So excited to see that for Carroll. Going to be interesting to see how and if Pitt State University is prepped for this, if they're, if they knew that Carroll likes to choose this one, or if and have some sort of counter strat, or if this is just their comfortable map as well, and how they're going to match that play style. Other tanks you could see out of Mr. Spee, it does occasionally come out on Ilios. We have seen cases of the Sigma. That's the Spee staple, and so wouldn't be shocked if the Sigma comes out. But the Junker Queen really is the bread and butter on Ilios. It's a very brawly style. Allows them to play in the face. I think the other advantage that the Junker Queen gives Carroll is the fact that Mr. Spee is able to do some of the healing himself, which takes a lot of pressure off of Lizard and Lizard and Brenny Boy, excuse me. And so they're able to focus primarily on the DPS getting picks. What happens, it means that Mr. Spee is able to stay in the fight longer without, heals coming his way. And we've actually seen a couple of maps and a couple of matches where Mr. Spee's typically the first one to die for Carroll, but it's not until 2, 3, sometimes 4 players are getting picked on the opposition thanks to the DPS roles. And so there's so many resources going into Mr. Spee. Clearly, and this isn't at all to discredit Mr. Spee. In fact, I think it's because Mr. Spee is such a force that you will have an enemy team invest significant resources into beating the tank. But the problem is that he's able to do so much by himself that the other 4 players of Carroll are able to slowly and effectively isolate and pick off targets until Carroll has an easy team fight win again and again and again. Another big point that we've seen happen a couple of times, Carroll's able to get nice staggers thanks to the way these team fights are going. A last remaining support or tank just gets stuck in no man's land for quite a while Carroll is able to continue to reset. It's really been just in a phenomenal season, and I don't think Carroll could have asked for anything more. Biggest thing we're always looking for, how does Carroll manage their ultimates? Are they using their ultimates effectively? And what's going to be the game plan there? We're loading up into Ilios right now, so we should be in our game shortly. It's going to be a great one, folks. All right. Looks like Ilios is up, picking heroes. And folks, we are good to go. We're in game. As we expected, Mr. Spee is coming out here on the Junker Queen. They use the Sim turret in order to get a little bit quicker, but this is the lineup that we expected. It's the lineup that they've been running. Listen, this is being played into what is a comp I don't think we've really seen Carroll face off a lot, mostly because I don't think a lot of teams have wanted to take Carroll here. You've got the Roadhog, the Moira, Lucio, the Venture, and the Sojourn on the other side. Sojourn, like I said, I think we're going to see Sojourn played by basically every team tonight. And here's an example for you. Mr. Spee is kind of solo here. You do have the support from the Ana, but it's largely Mr. Spee trying to do his own thing while the DPS duo are trying to get some picks in isolation. Unfortunately, Mr. Spee does go down, and it results in a fight 1 win for PSU. This is a strategy, going back to what we were talking about, that I'm not fully surprised to see it go this way in terms of Mr. Spee going down first. The important thing is that the Carroll DPS need to find an earlier pick if they're going to get value out of that. Bruv's able to trade here onto the DPS, but Mr. Spee goes down. Great sleep from Benny Boy onto Deranged Soap, onto the enemy Roadhog. Hits him with the anti, and they're forced to back off. I was hoping Lizard might be able to get a res, but they decide to disengage from that, waiting for Mr. Spee to come back. PSU is going to be just north of 50% by the time we get to the re-engage here. We are going to be engaging here. Constant Rhyme's going to have a dead eye. This is going up against the Moira Coalescence. Got to think if Carroll can get advantage or value out of this quickly, that they're going to be able to make a difference. Oh, the big hook onto Mr. Spee. While they're able to pick off the Moira, Mr. Spee goes down. Bruv able to hit an ultimate here, though. Trying to go for some big value on his ult. Able to get a few picks. It looks like Carroll is going to be able to flip. Here we've got Mr. Spee. This rampage is going to be critical here. If Spee is able to get big value, this could completely minimize. You've got the sound beat barrier come in. It looks like Carroll's trying to wait on that. And there it is. The rampage comes in. It hits both DPS as well as the tank. Should be getting tons of value out of here. He waited long enough that it was able to wait for the sound barrier to expire. And this is going to allow Carroll to have a fairly clean team fight here. But Mr. Spee does go down again. Bruv able to get 2 railgun charges, though. And there it is. Even though Carroll loses their tank. And, Lizard gets off a crazy res. Lots of value despite the hog ult coming up. Mr. Spee, then Benny Boy hits onto the big Bionade onto the Roadhog, and Carroll's able to reclaim it. Unfortunately, there was a point flip in the middle of here, so Mr. Spee is going to be last one up. He is going to should be able to get the flip. It's just the Lucio and other DPS, so enemy Sojourn's able to come back. Oh, but Mr. Spee gets booped off by the Lucio. Carroll's going to be unable to touch, and PSU takes the first map on Ilios. I think Carroll's lost maybe 1 or 2 points on Ilios thus far. And honestly, we said this last season because Carroll's always liked Ilios. Well is one that, yes, there is a value in terms of the opportunity to brawl, but if you have an enemy team that's going to run the Venture, the Lucio, and the Roadhog, that's a team that's literally just playing for boops. And yes, they got the pretty effective boop onto Mr. Spee, but guess what? I don't think that value is going to be there on this next point. And you can see they're planning on running the exact same composition, but the boop value is not going to be there. And the Mauga here from Mr. Spee is planning on to have, it's definitely going to have the health pool resiliency necessary to match the Hog. I can understand why they hang up there running with the Junker Queen. You'd be a little bit concerned about the ability to keep up with the Hog's health pool, but Mauga is far and away superior in this case and is going to get so much value of just charging onto the Roadhog. Oh, man, bruv hits a crazy railgun onto the enemy Lucio, unable to fully get the finish. Oh, there's another one, though! Able to clean up where he started. What an excellent shot from Bruv. This Bruv Lizard combo, this is one that I talked about in the pregame, it's just been so critical for Carroll because, look at this, Bruv is, even when Bruv gets dove, it doesn't even matter because Lizard has been so effective at keeping him up. And the second he gets any space, he's able to start using railguns again and getting maximum value from the railguns. That's especially true in the case of a Roadhog, where it's so easy just to farm damage and then exact that very, very, very damaging one-shot kill at times onto the squishies with the railgun. And so, Bruv is feasting here. Gotta love this. Already at 30%, Carroll's able to cap pretty early, despite the other enemy team having Lucio, able to get back faster. And Carroll's able to get their first control point, and now it's going to be 40% thanks to the drawn-out nature of that fight. We do see a switch from PSU over onto the D.Va. This is clearly just a counter of the Mauga. I'm going to be interested to see if the D.Va plays on point, or if they try and make a big challenge onto Bruv. Mr. Spee goes down, but not before the enemy D.Va does. Carroll does lose a couple players. Bruv's able to keep getting picks, though, and Carroll is maintaining control of this point. You still have Benny Boy along with both DPS here. The D.Va just comes back into mech right now, so D.Va is back. The Mauga also gets back, though, at the same time, and so Carroll able to hold their own and is going to continue on the point. By the end of this fight, it's going to be 99-0 if PSU's even able to win it. Otherwise, Carroll's just going to take this point 100-0. Mauga looking here, Mr. Spee. We do have the Kiriko ult coming in. Mr. Spee definitely looking for the cage here. Oh, and what a big cage. Getting able to pull him right off a point means that they're not really going to have any contesting opportunities to go down. Mr. Spee does as well, but you kind of expected that to be the case here, and you're not even too worried about it. The Venture isn't able to get any value out of their ultimate, trying to specifically target Benny Boy, but doesn't get a single pick. You have Constant Rhyme then, who hits the excellent Deadeye, well-timed, able to finish the D.Va and make sure she's not able to get back in mech. There's no second contest, and Carroll wins this 100-0. Right there, I think that highlights clearly that the Roadhog is just not going to get as much value into this composition on any other point as opposed to Well. And so the switch to D.Va makes sense, but unfortunately for PSU, they try and isolate and put the D.Va up face-to-face against the Mauga, and it just does not work even a little bit. Going to be interested to see if they keep doing it that way, if they keep running the D.Va straight at Mr. Spee, or if they're going to pivot and try and use it to isolate and target Bruv. And go for quick picks and ignore Mr. Spee. Mauga does have his rush, but it's not the most. He's not the most mobile of tanks, right? That we know that, and so gonna be interesting to see how they choose to play this one. PSU does have a fairly mobile composition. They're gonna run the same one with the Kiriko D.Va swap that you saw in the last point. Carroll running the exact same composition as before. We got a POV here for Bruv. Going to be seeing... Oh, Railgun almost is able to finish him off. And this is still the case. The Venture is trying to flank here. And the Sojourn, defended by the Mercies, just able to effectively take care of it. Venture's going to be back here any second. They do have to jump out in order to avoid the other Sojourn bubble. And losing that high ground does become a little bit problematic. They're able to isolate Carroll one at a time. This is interesting, though, with the Malga swap. As we talked about, Mr. Spee, when he plays the Junker Queen, is playing typically fairly solo, and you see Mr. Spee die oftentimes a little bit earlier than the rest of the team. That's not the case with Malga. Bruv able to get back with Lizard. They're able to stay alive. Yeah, and Mr. Spee's back now too. So all good there. Oh man, the nasty shot. I think that Bruv was aiming for Whiskey, which he gets as well. No problems there. Bruv just absolutely laser beam people, and you can see in the kill feed every single time there's that assist from Lizard. Oh my gosh, Bruv! That's not fair. These people have families, man. Come on. Bruv gets 3 of the 4 picks in that fight. The Venture's able to escape, and all of them were just on some of the nastiest railguns that you'd see. Sojourn, definitely a valuable... folks, I think my spectating duties are going to be nice and easy. I'm just going to keep on Bruv all night. If he's going to hit shots like this, what an unreal amount of gameplay. The discipline and the ability to hit those kind of just insta-locks are so impressive. Bruv clearly been working on his aim trainer, and it's going well for him. Pengu's been playing significantly detached from the rest of the team. It's interesting because that detachment hasn't led to any individual solo picks. It does become a little bit annoying for Carroll's backline, but all in all, I don't think I've seen too many times when Pengu gets the pick to start. And again, I leave Bruv at my own peril and miss a big ultimate where he's able to get 2 picks. And Carroll's swinging this. Oh, Diva Bomb comes out, zoning ult. No one should die to this. Oh, whoa, Mr. Spee. I don't know what happened there. Looks like he might have been in cage. And that's where he goes down. But Lizard's going to get a res onto this, so it's not even going to matter. Bruv does go down, but I think that's a trade that you're willing to take because it looks like the Diva and Whiskey are the only 2 that are left. You do have the Venture back here. Whiskey does use their ult and is able to win that one out. Carroll chooses to disengage rather than extend that fight. The point had flipped at that point, so it makes a lot of sense because what it does is it gives Carroll an opportunity to have a couple clean team fights as opposed to dragging it out to 70%. Wow, Whiskey hits a nice shot. Another one. Okay. Whiskey answers. Wants to match Bruv here. Oh, but makes a mistake of pushing a little bit too close to Bruv. Fly a little too close to the sun. You may have wings, Whiskey, but Bruv is going to take you down. Bruv's able to establish the high ground again. You have the nano onto Mr. Spee. Carroll should be able to win this team fight fairly quickly, and this should be enough that even if PSU are to get the point back, Carroll should have another opportunity to team fight. So it's not like last fight territory for Carroll if they lose it. Pretty clean and effective. I mean, they went from 69% when they first engaged that fight to only 83. That 14%, that means Carroll won it pretty quick. Pengu's trying to get out of there. If Bruv can hit a big railgun... Yes, and there he does. Bruv's able to take down Pengu. This means it's going to be a 4v5 fight, and it's going to be last fight. We're already at 90% for Carroll. Bruv has his ult, and he's got the high ground established. Does he know that the Kiriko's on the high ground with him? Well, it doesn't matter now because Kiriko drops off, and Bruv's able to get 1, 2. Both supports for Bruv. Constant Rhyme's able to get Whiskey using his Deadeye, and that's going to be it for Carroll. Carroll wins Ilios. Come on. Come on. PSU, you should have known. You should have done your homework. Carroll doesn't lose Ilios. What a big gameplay. Looks like we had some sound issues. I think we've got that fixed now. Just an issue in the audio mixer, so sorry about that, folks. We should have full audio now on the gameplay. Come on, are you telling me that my voice isn't what you came here to listen to? I know. Don't worry. I got it fixed now. My apologies. Typically we're running 3 people here on this stream, so but we're excited because we had just a great game from Carroll. Bruv over here, absolutely disgusting. PSU picks Kings Row, which will be our next map, our hybrid map. We're just going to take a quick 30-second break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back, folks. Looks like the audio should be fixed. So sorry again about that. We are going to Kings Row here. Carroll going to be starting on the attack. PSU on the defense. No, that's my bad. No, my apologies. Carroll will be starting on defense. They are switched this time on terms of colors. Carroll will be the gold. PSU will be the purple, as opposed to last time. So just keep an eye out for Carroll up on the top left of your screen. That just gets swapped back and forth depending on which side Carroll picked. And so here we go. We're running it back again on the Mauga, as opposed, against the Diva. Whiskey is running on the Sim. Oh my gosh, bruv! Bruv is able to get the pick onto onto Whiskey. Unfortunately, it isn't until after the TP comes up, but it doesn't look like it's gonna matter because Carroll's able to get 2 picks here. The Diva goes up top. Bruv chases. Bruv has no fear. Chases the Diva down. This is gonna stall out PSU pretty badly. They're able to TP back in, and Benny Boy gets chased on the high ground. He gets isolated completely, and PSU does have all 5 up on high ground, but it's Diva out of mech. So it's going to be interesting. Carroll, obviously, with the Mauga, doesn't really have the same capacity in order to challenge that high ground, but they TP onto low ground, like right into Mauga's arms. What a call by PSU. Man. Okay, they're able to get a pick. Oh, hold on. Maybe gets Constant Rhyme over on the Torb. Carroll's able to stop the second tick from coming through. They've only got 1 tick so far. There's a huge anti onto Deranged Soap, onto the Diva, and the Mauga just stomps, and that is over. Fight done. 1 tick allowed in a minute and a half. Whiskey's able to TP up, but Whiskey might be completely isolated because of this. Kind of strange that they would choose to TP prior to getting full team back, and they're going to have to completely disengage. Carroll's able to hold quite easily here, and only giving up 1 tick despite losing the high ground. This is the one, and it looks like Whiskey was wanting to switch, which is why they kind of went for that, is what I'm assuming. Going to be interesting to see here if they choose to continue to engage in the high ground, or if they're going to come and play on the low ground with Carroll again. Mr. Speed gets dropped all the way down to 80. Benny Boy's able to keep him up, though. Mr. Speed just melts the Diva, and that's the problem, is either the Diva has to just let Bruv have free reign on... Oh, and here we go. We're going to get the res onto Benny Boy by Lizard. Nice. Res comes in. Constant Rhymes Torb. Give him a little love. Going to be at 92% here. As I was saying, the Diva has a really difficult decision, because do you use your eat in order to try and minimize Bruv and get in position safely, or do you use it once you get Mr. Speak's face? It's a no-win situation. And we do have Deranged Soap swapping over to the Mauga. Prof Comedy is also swapping over to the Ana. So while it's not a complete mirror, it's clear that PSU is feeling a little bit of the pressure. Man, the combination of the nasty anti-nade and then the Constant Rhyme ultimate is able to effectively take care of this fight. Bruv goes down. Bruv gets the pick onto Whiskey. Mr. Spee goes down. Benny Boy hits another crazy anti-nade. And it's so impressive to watch, because what Benny Boy's able to do is he's able to hit the initial Bionade incredibly quick. Just beginning of the fight, Bionade comes in. They're able to get a pick early with Mr. Spee's ultimate. Because he's able to use it so effectively, but also early in the fight, he gets it back and for the second later half of the fight. And it just means that PSU has no chance to do anything because of it. Benny Boy playing a little bit reserved, a little bit concerned about this venture here. Rightfully so. Whiskey has an ultimate. Everyone disengages, backs off a little bit here. Mr. Spee is anti-naded, but then hits the nano from Benny Boy. Oh, Venture does die of Benny Boy, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter at all. Carroll is able to get a full hold, just 1 tick for PSU, and otherwise Carroll keeps it locked down. It was interesting. PSU did have a moment there of what seemed to be like a pretty reliable strategy of taking the high ground. But they then choose to engage and make the changes on the composition to match Carroll in a way that just does not go their way. And listen, Spee's playing well, Lizard's playing well, but it's clear Benny Boy's anti-nades are just, the on a diff here is so massive. That is unbelievable. Benny Boy just having a heck of a game as usual. I mean, we're accustomed to seeing it, right? Carroll coming out on the same composition. We have almost a full swap over from PSU. We have a late swap onto the Juno. I mean, it's Juno, so they should be fine getting back. But you have the Sombra, Juno, Sigma we have not seen before. Pengu's locking the Venture. And listen, I think Pengu's like playing fine on the Venture. I'm just not seeing the value when the rest of their team is losing team fights just left and right. You see Pengu's up on the top right. Sombra here detected very quickly. This is one Constant Rhyme is going to have to step up this game in order to protect Benny Boy. Oh, he does. He absolutely does. That's not to imply Constant Rhyme hasn't been playing well. It's just Constant Rhyme now is going to have significantly more pressure than he's had with the pair of flanks. Oh my gosh! Constant Rhyme gets another clean pick. Both DPS dead thanks to Constant Rhyme. Lizard's able to get the free res onto Benny Boy. Holy smokes! I guess I just don't think PSU knew that Constant Rhyme was built like that. Listen, Bruv rightfully gets a ton of credit for his sojourn. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Bruv deserves a lot of credit for it. But man, you don't flank Constant Rhyme. Stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Constant Rhyme shuts down both DPS single-handedly, able to keep Benny Boy Lizard together, and Carroll wins first team fight without even breaking a sweat. We have play the game here. Goes to Mr. Spee with the nano from Benny Boy. Big play here, and Carroll just cleans up again. We'll be going to Flashpoint next. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back once we have the map for you. All right, folks, we are back. Flashpoint up next. Suravasa is the map choice of PSU. And in the words of the great Brady Clark, welcome to our last map. Not to jinx it, knock on some wood, but Carroll has yet to go to a map 4. Let's see if we can keep the streak going. Win it here on Flashpoint. Carroll's played a lot of Junkertown, so definitely a swap here, or New Junk City. And so you have the swap here. Suravasa, not one that's been played as much by Carroll. However, I don't think there's a ton of differences in terms of how Carroll's going to want to play. I think that either way, I mean, Flashpoint is Flashpoint is Flashpoint. And the maps, well, they do have some distinctions. Share a lot of similar things in terms of where the fights and like where the fights themselves are happening. A lot of the points have a lot of similarities to them. And hey, would you look at that? Carroll's going to run it down on their composition. You do have the swap. Spee's going to go with the Mauga here. Again, another swap over from PSU. They're going to be running it down on the Ramatra. First time we've seen that look out of PSU. Let's see how they're able to handle it. I'm not sure what the foul. Oh man, Benny boy, gosh, what an oh man! Thank you, Mr. Spee, for the Benny boy cam. Watching just the nastiest sleep onto Whiskey. Jeez, and Benny boy's 41% to a nano already. Cooking. Oh, man. Don't challenge him. He doesn't even need Consta Rhyme to defend him. It's a one-man army. Bruv here looking to get an easy pick to start the match. Start the fight here. 100% on the charge. He doesn't have his slide, so he's going to be a little bit careful. Choosing not to engage despite having the full charged railgun. He's going to rotate over here to the left with the rest of the team. Able to hit a big shot to Whiskey, and Whiskey goes down. Oh, maybe it was just Benny Boy. I think that Bruv hit it and just didn't get full credit there in the kill feed. Benny Boy making sure everyone's staying up. Kind of just ignoring the Venture Lane. Lizard take care of that. Ramatra is antied, and so is having to back off. A nice sleep on the Benny Boy. And Bruv here being challenged by the Venture. That's a mistake. Because the Venture's about to get domed. No! Okay. All right. Bruv needed a little bit of help. Didn't have the full charged railgun. It got a little bit hairy. Bruv almost made a liar out of me. But it's okay. Good team support by Carroll. This is another case here. You know, Mr. Spee, 840 health at that point in that fight, right? Just the massive durability of Mauga means that he's able to engage and fight in a way that is just disengaged from the team and allows them to focus on the Venture, staying on point. And Spee is just such a lethal frontline. Whiskey switches over to the May. Now, I think this swap for PSU, listen, I'm Carroll through and through, but I think this is an excellent swap if you're a PSU fan. The May is going to give the opportunity for Mr. Spee to get isolated. It also gives you an opportunity for protection. And I guess Whiskey's just nice with those right clicks. I think the priority for Whiskey, though, should not... I mean, that weird flank just leaves him completely isolated once Ice Block goes away. Mr. Spee is able to hit the cage here, and he is going to just clean up the rest of PSU. Look, I love the May swap, but the May needs to be used to try and isolate the Mauga or protect the Ramatra when he's antied. The Whiskey and Pengu's jobs... I mean, Pengu now has their ultimate. They should be running it, you know, right up with the rest of the team and putting immense pressure on Mr. Spee early rather than doing these independent flanks where a Constant Rhyme or Bruv are just winning every single time. May rotating off again. Solo flank here. You know, has a little bit of support from the Kiriko. But the wall, what a waste of a wall. What a waste of a wall. Carroll, I mean, and listen, I can't blame them. I also would be terrified to just go up against Bruv here. Ramatra's able to engage with his ultimate. Mr. Constantine able to get a pick, though, with the fire on point. And there we go. Carroll just cleans house. And there's another pick. Oh, Bruv. Oh, man. 3 maps. 3 points on Flashpoint. Are we almost done here? It sure feels like it. I mean, nothing the PSU is throwing at Carroll seems to be working. The Diva is back with the Lucio pick. I mean, I get it, but why then are we sticking the May still? I like the Ramatra, but that May wall needs to be used primarily to isolate the Mauga and trying to get value in that sense. But, you know, here we go. PSU is first one to point here. Point is now unlocking. See, here we go. That well by there was definitely better. Benny Boy's able to hit the nano in order to keep Mr. Spee up and healthy, and that nano just means that he's going to be putting out so much damage into PSU here. Chooses to peel. What great communication from Carroll. This clearly demonstrates the level of comms that Carroll are playing with right now because of how fast Amalga peels when they hear the Venture ultimate. It's excellent gameplay, and while Carroll may ultimately lose this fight, I don't know. Bruv's able to get one. Mr. Spee in the face of the Diva. Diva's down. Is Carroll just going to disengage? Yeah, okay, there it is. Mr. Spee backs off. Benny Boy's going to try and get out of there. Gets a pick. Takes Pengu with them. Oh, and the Lucio goes down as well. And they're going to get the res onto Benny Boy. This means Carroll's already got 4. Bruv's almost back. And Carroll's going to have a 4v3 to engage with. 5v3 now. Benny Boy, oh, and Benny Boy gets Whiskey too. Benny Boy able to take one down with them makes such a big deal in their capacity to just get right back into this fight. And it means that you only get 40% for PSU when it really should have been more. And this fight's going to stagger out as well. The big anti-nade onto the Venture. Carroll isn't going to challenge. Oh, okay, hold on. Carroll may not, but Bruv wanted a piece of it. Almost gets the Mercy, just a little bit more charge on that railgun, and he probably would have. Bruv's got his ultimate here. This is the one we're going to see, and I think is going to be the one that they're going to lead off with. Well is used. They want to go down the split U. Blizzard comes out early, as does Beat. Wow. Big investments here. Pengu is able to get Bruv and chases down Lizard, which, you know, this is going to leave Mr. Spee. He goes running for the water, able to get off. Carroll's able to get it up to 80%. They're going. You're going to have Diva Bomb, and shortly thereafter, you're going to have the Venture ult. But Carroll gets to engage with the Nano, with the Torb Fire Lava. I don't even know the official name of that ultimate, to be honest with you. You got the lava. Oh, and there we go. We got to pick on the Pengu. This is another case, right? Pengu's trying to play these solo positions, and it's just not working out. Lizard goes down, picked by Whiskey. Spee turns around, but still has ice block, so Whiskey's able to kind of bring themselves back up. Without Lizard, I think Carroll's going to have a hard time getting the necessary heals. Bruv goes down to a boot from the Lucio. Prof Camedy goes low, but they're not able to get him. Diva is going to use the remake here as the opportunity to get back into the fight. Successfully able to do so, and Mr. Spee's going to go down. Looks like PSU lives to fight another point. They're able to survive. Pengu goes down early, which means they're going to retain their ult. They're also going to be engaging here with a Blizzard. But an early pick onto Benny Boy by Whiskey, or onto Lizard by Whiskey, made it for a successful push on PSU. That is, I would say, perhaps the only risk that you run with this composition is that without Lizard, the healing output is just very, very minimal. You have the Junker Queen here, drawing in for the brawl. Oh, Prof Comedy's able to get a boop. Gets another boop. Oh my gosh. No one told me that we had a Rena Lucio in the game today, guys. Jeez. Carroll's able to disengage. Constant Rhyme might be in trouble here. Yeah, Constant Rhyme able to hit the overclock, but or the charge, but isn't able to get out of there. Diva goes low due to an anti-nade, but they're not. Oh, they do. The knife. The trickle down, and Whiskey goes down as well. That means they're without the tank. They're only a Baby Diva, and the May goes down as well. There goes the Lucio, and Carroll should have a quick flip here back onto the point. Oh, and the kill onto Diva just before. Elkrats does go for the res, doesn't go their way. Carroll flips at 35%. Nice retake there from Carroll. Whiskey, half health, gets brought back up. I think this is where, if you're... Oh. Does Spee get the pull? Not into the pit. Okay, all right. Man, that would have been crazy. Spee's going to have a rampage here. And I think the rampage... Oh, he is able to get out of the Blizzard. That's big. I think this rampage is going to be pretty devastating. Oh, especially with the Nano. Walls used defensively by Whiskey. Able to get away successfully. The Diva's then able to charge Bruv. Oh, and here comes the rampage. Oh, but it comes out with the beat at the same time. it means that the D.Va doesn't look like they received full benefits of the beat, and they go down quickly. It looks like Mr. Speed timed it perfectly, able to hit before the beat actually goes down. There's just so little value that comes out of the beat, and it means that Carroll's able to clean up, and PSU loses one of their biggest ultimates. What's more, well, PSU does flip. That flip might be the reason that PSU gets another shot at this. I think Pengu should have tried to play their life just a little bit more. Playing point here doesn't make a ton of sense. Pengu does stay alive, though, so who am I to say? But Mr. Speed's Rampage right there might have just won this entire game. You have the Venture ult, though, with the D.Va Bomb. Oh! It looks like Carroll's going to have another fight. Oof. A lot of ults committed, though. A lot of ults. Mr. Speed's already 65% to a Rampage. Definitely going to be something that we're going to be watching for in the next fight. It looks like that should be the only ultimate that comes online. Depends. Prof Comedy is getting close to another beat. Going to be a question mark as to who gets their ultimate first. If Mr. Speed is able to get his ultimate or is able to neutralize the sound barrier again, then I think this is an easy team fight win for Carroll. But Prof Comedy does have an opportunity to counteract that if needed. All going to be about timing here. Mr. Speed is a little bit behind, 4% in terms of the ultimate charge. Can Carroll get an early pick? Is that Blizzard? Wow. Wait. No, that was just okay. I thought that was Blizzard for a minute. I was so confused. No Blizzard. Carroll goes 2-2, giving some content for the fans back home. And here we go. We have they're running. Whiskey trying to take some shots here. Whiskey is chasing. Oh, Benny Boy dodges it. Nice. Oh, Lizard goes down early. This means it's going to be a 4v5 fight for Carroll. Oh! Don't disrespect Benny Boy like that! Unfortunately, an ice block means that Whiskey is going to get the better of him. But Benny Boy hit that and deserves all the credit for that. So I don't want to hear it. Nobody gets to give Benny Boy any flack. It's a nice knife from Mr. Speed onto Pengu. Whiskey is a little bit out of position here. Oh, quick and easy kill. Oh, and the Rampage. It means that the Mercy goes out. They've got to watch out for the D.Va Bomb. Able to dodge it. D.Va Bomb only takes out Constant Rhyme's turret. And they're able to stop the D.Va from getting back into mech. All right, Carroll's been here before. They did a quick flip, 30%. Oh, man, too bad that knife didn't hit Pengu in order to pull him in. That would have been really big. Brav is going to be the one to watch here. He does have his ultimate. Going to be interested to see if he chooses to fight this head-on down the middle or if he's going to try and get high ground, take an off angle. Either way, expect Lizard to be staying next to him to give the pocket here. Big grouping. Already wearing down the D.Va barrier. Blizzard does come in. Carroll's able to effectively dodge the Blizzard. They kind of disengaged a little bit farther maybe than necessary. Bruv has not committed his ultimate. Backs off, trying to avoid the ventral. Benny Boy isn't so fortunate. Oh! Bruv goes down to Pengu ultimate. Man. This is one of the... it might be the biggest... Costerine is able to get a late pick. This might be the biggest point. Lizard goes down late. Means that they're not going to have Lizard for this fight. As I was saying, this might be the biggest point. Nice pick on a Whiskey. And so, I don't love Carroll completely choosing to abandon point when they could just move to, like, the side of the point and dodge the Blizzard. I think they unnecessarily gave up the point a little early as a result, and it means that it's 92%. I think it could have been a little bit less percentage. Carroll takes a nice, easy recap, though, and by the time that PSU gets back, I think we're going to be looking at final fight territory here. Carroll, I mean, only ultimate that you can expect. Blizzard's got the Valkyrie here. That's going to be important to get that healing output. Constant Rhyme, can he get up to his ultimate and zone them off of the point? That's going to be the question. Oh, man, big hook, big knife by Mr. Speed. Almost able to take down the Lucio. He's going to have to take a second before he engages here. Pengu gets knifed. Oh, able to get down. We have the trade. Benny Boy, you got the Lucio. Oh, both supports are down for PSU. Mr. Speed takes it into his own hands here. He just has to clear out the D.Va. And Constant Rhyme's ultimate zones him off the point. All that's left is the Venture, the flanking Venture, and it doesn't feel like it's going to make a difference. Carroll keeps the streak. Lucio does touch a rampage for good measure. You're going to have another touch. The Moiler comes on. You do have the Tracer out above, but that is it. Carroll keeps their record, doesn't lose a map. Made it interesting. I think we've gone to a 0.5 a couple times on Flashpoint. Doesn't matter. Carroll bends, doesn't break. Able to get another 3-0 win, and Carroll stays atop of your standings. Number one team in the conference, just playing phenomenal Overwatch. Sometimes and in different weeks we have a player who really has like a standout week. I got to be honest, this week I think we had a lot of excellent plays from everybody. I really never felt like I was just prioritizing one player at any point, because I just think that it was a combined team effort from Carroll. And it was domination. Carroll played excellent. Was a fantastic game, and one that Carroll has to be thrilled with. We're gonna take a quick break, see if we can get an interview. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Gaming Saints Carroll College Overwatch team. All right, welcome back. I've got an interview here. I've got Lizard with another win for the Carroll College Gaming Saints. Congratulations, Lizard. What a big play. So, Carroll, this game 5 got a little bit hairy there at the end. A couple of times that I got a little bit nervous. There are moments that I think Carroll, Kings Row, and we can compare Saravasa and Kings Row tonight. Kings Row has been very reminiscent of how Carroll's played the rest of the season. Dominant. Just, on very few maps where Carroll's really been pushed. Saravasa does kind of push you guys to a little bit of, the limit in order to ensure that you're able to get the win. How does the mentality and the attitude change on the team when you have to lock in for a game like Saravasa 0.5? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. In terms of the game plan going into tonight, what were you looking to accomplish? I mean, you played great. No doubt that was the case. You pull off some just crazy reses, and that's really been a theme of all season long. When you're trying to prioritize going for a res, because let's say Benny, when Benny Boy goes down, or even without, you are the primary healer, right? The primary healing output for the team. And given that that's the case, when are you making the decision to try and just play your life versus going for what might be a hero res? For sure. But I mean, seeing some of those 50-50s definitely go your way. Carroll is now most of the time. They're 50-50s for a reason. What is it? 60% of the time it works every time. I think that's how it goes. Yeah. Carroll at this point is so far ahead of the rest of the league. How many games do you have left remaining in the regular season? One game. Okay, so at that point, you have the first seed locked up. There's nothing you can do that could lose it. Given that that is the case, are you going to be prepping for New Mexico as the priority, or are you looking ahead to some of these top schools like the Larks, for example, and getting ready for rematches for who you're expecting to play playoff and championship time? Mm-hmm. Coming for playoff time, don't divulge any strats too much. But what are you looking to hope to accomplish between now and playoff time? Yeah, absolutely. Well, Lizard, thanks so much for making time to do an interview. Congratulations on another huge win, and go Saints. Thanks. Oh, sorry. I think that there was something else that was me coming. Let me see if I can join the call back, everybody. No. All right. That's going to do it for us on our program today, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. What an awesome game. Just really another dominant performance by Carroll. Exciting to see. And next week, or in 2 weeks, you hear New Mexico going to be the last game of the regular season. And then we're in playoff time, baby. Carroll already locked up the number one spot. What a season. I know that Carroll's not going to be satisfied with anything less than the trophy. And I know that I won't be either. So thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in a couple weeks.